The idea of Lilymae's Play Cafe first came about after my husband and I had our little girl Lilymae, and I was on maternity leave. So I spent a lot of time in town with a screaming child at the time, and I didn't really have anywhere I could go or felt comfortable to go. Before starting Lilymae's, I hadn't had any experience in running a town centre business. The only thing I had to kind of help me was my job, and I'd had some work helping a social enterprise set up a business, but nothing quite like Lilymae's. I first heard about Enterprise HQ when I was on maternity leave. Actually, they sent leaflets through the door with just general town updates of what they were doing, and there was an article there about getting involved with Enterprise HQ. Originally, my husband had thought about setting up a business on his own in the catering world, maybe setting up a restaurant or maybe a cafe. But then after having Lilymae, we started thinking about the idea of having a play cafe, but that was a completely new concept to us and something we hadn't really done so much research on, and not my husband's area of expertise. So Enterprise HQ gave us the opportunity to trial the idea and think about whether there was a demand for Lilymae's in the town centre. I think I knew from a personal perspective from having Lilymae that I needed somewhere like Lilymae's Play Cafe in the town centre, but I just wasn't sure if there was enough customers out there that would kind of come in and use us. From our experience at Enterprise HQ, I expected to learn obviously everything about setting up and running a business. I also hoped to learn if my husband and I could work together. Also the idea of whether Lilymae's would have a place in the town centre and if we could meet the kind of town centre rent and rates for the customer or the target audience that we were trying to seek. I've learnt a massive amount from being Enterprise HQ with Lilymae's. I think both my husband and I have learnt a lot. I think just overwhelmed by the amount of local support from the community, which has been great. But then from a business perspective, we've learnt kind of every aspect of setting up a business, what's involved, all the kind of things that you would never think of, the different organisations and parties you need to kind of make contact with or build relationships with, as well as all the compliance and everything that goes with it. Our experience at Enterprise HQ could probably have been improved by probably two main things. One, we found that it was slightly difficult because it was a pop-up, which we always knew it would be, but it was slightly difficult to get the advertising and signage of it being Lilymae's Play Cafe rather than Enterprise HQ. So I think it would be helpful if we could think of other ways of whether it had been better window signage or other ways to say that there was a cafe here, so that people didn't kind of walk past and just completely miss it. The second area, probably for me the most important area, would be about linking in with other organisations or getting a bit of additional business support. I kind of knew the areas we needed support with, and I don't think I quite realised how much time they would each take. So sometimes I felt my focus was taken away from the marketing or the strategy of the business in terms of getting underlying custom, and actually getting caught up with the kind of red tape around whether it be applications or compliance or just accounting stuff. But I think there's probably a lot of local business supports out there that would be willing to help or give an idea of stuff rather than me kind of learning each thing fresh each time. The advice I'd give to anyone else considering this opportunity would be definitely to treat it as if it was a real business. You've got to think of it as if this is your shot to do it for real. We definitely did that, and if we hadn't taken it seriously, it wouldn't have worked. And I think it's important to make sure you think about your customer base beforehand and how you're going to get hold of them or attract them to where you are way before you start. I think one of the reasons we did well in the beginning was because we started marketing Lilymae's probably a month beforehand, which meant we already had a good customer base for when it opened. Because of the temporary nature, it's obviously really important to get customers in from day one. So if you start from day one, it's probably not going to be as successful. I think I've learned a lot about the people of High Wycombe, or the people of the town centre. They are all overwhelmingly wanting to support local businesses and new startups. I hear nothing but positive encouragement for getting new businesses, not just Lilymae's, but others, into the town, and that they would actively try and support them if there was an offering that, that was relevant for them. Our tenancy at Enterprise HQ definitely allowed us to build a following through the use of social media, which was definitely key. And our time here, we've built up a very loyal customer base, and hopefully one will follow us into the future. The only thing I'm not sure about is, although we have a great customer base and people who are very positive about Lilymae's, just due to the target audience we've got, we can't charge high prices in order to maintain that target audience, and obviously rent and rates in town centres is much more expensive than out of town. We're really hoping that we can stay within a town centre location and still provide that town centre offering, which was the very point of Lilymae's to start with. But it might be that we have to pursue outside of town just because of the prices.